I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Hi,
Hello.
it's Jane.
Hello,
Hiya.
Jane. Sit down, take a seat.
Put that on there.
So, hi, Jane. How was your journey?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a mare of a journey. I have to do this every day. It's further away than I thought it was, to be honest. And I couldn't get into the car park. There's something else going on today. And I've been in that queue maybe 10-15 minutes, so it's not my fault I'm late. I was here on time, but I was sat down there on time. Well, thank you for asking, thank you.
Okay.
Do you mind if I just take my coat off? Oh. Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm all yours.
Okay, Jane. My name's Mark here, okay, and I'm the ward manager, okay?
Hi.
So I just want to tell you a little bit about the job,
Okay.
okay, and how the interview will be structured, okay? So you've applied for a Band 5 staff nurse
Yeah.
on the surgical assessment unit,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
It is a full-time post,
Right.
okay,
Yeah.
37.5 hours.
Right, good, yeah.
And there is a 6-month probation period, okay?
Oh, probation period.
Okay, probation period, and we can discuss that later.
Okay.
Okay, and you will need to complete your preceptorship as well. within
Right,
12
okay.
months.
Right, so you have that at your hospital.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. I've got several questions that I'm going to ask you,
Yeah.
okay, throughout the interview.
Yeah.
And just relax.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try,
Take
I'll
your
try.
time. If you don't understand anything, please ask,
Okay.
and we'll explain it to you.
Okay.
Okay. So,
I'll just sit on my hands and move the fidget.
okay.
Okay.
So the first question that I want to ask you, Jane,
Yeah, sorry.
okay, is you've applied for a Band 5 staff nurse
Yeah.
within the surgical directorate.
Yeah.
Could you tell us what qualities you could bring to the role?
What qualities? I didn't expect this one. Well, I've done all right in my training. People seem to like me, and I think, you know, if when I'm on a shift, if I can sort of just like make someone smile, so I'm good at that. I've got, well, actually no, I've not got very good timekeeping, but I'm quite well organised. I'm well organised. And I'm well liked, and I did really well in my assignments, and one of those was to do with surgery. So I think I could bring that knowledge to the team. Has that answered your question?
Okay. Okay. So the second question I want to ask you is, what do you see as your own biggest challenge in progressing to a Band 5 nursing role from your role now as a student nurse?
That's a good question. I think the thing is, it's just learning to be a nurse, isn't it? You know, like learning to be a nurse for the first time. And because you've got like the preceptorship, I think that will help. Because I think while we've been doing our training, we're probably learning about what it is to be a nurse, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? But actually learning how to do it while you're doing it, I think that's the biggest challenge. And knowing that it's like it's just you, you know. I think that's the biggest challenge, is to make that transitional leap.
Okay.
Yeah, that transitional leap. I think that's the biggest challenge.
Is making the transition from student?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, you know, doing it, actually doing it.
And what obstacle do you think you may struggle with the most in that transition?
Ooh, I think delegation.
And why is that?
Because I'm not very good at it. I'm not very good at it because I think myself that if I'm delegating something to somebody, it's because I can't do it myself. But that's not right, is it? it's not right. So that's what I've got to get my head around. In fact, I did that in one of my assignments about delegation. So this is now about bringing that SMART goal to life. Is concentrating on delegation, because if you can delegate, then your whole team's with you.
So you said SMART?
Yes. I don't know what it stands for, but it's about a SMART goal.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, SMART goal. It is smart, isn't it?
Okay. We'll move on.
Okay.
Okay. So can you tell us about a recent report that may have had a great impact upon health and social care?
Yes. Well, there was one. It was in 2013, and I think it was the St. Francis report. And what happened with that is that, I mean, I don't want to, you know, abuse any kind of confidentiality or anything, and name the trust, but it was about a particular trust that, you know, death rates were high, quality was poor, people were being left. To be honest with you, it could have been done anywhere, but it was just that it was focused on that. And then there was another report that came after that, so I'll sit on my hands pointing at you there. There was another report that came after that, which was the Keogh report, and that highlighted 12 similar trusts that needed help. So I think what's come from that is that there are a lot of trusts that, you know, have poor standards, and, you know, we need to work on those standards.
And what standards are these?
Oh, you know, leaving people in urine and faeces, starving people to death, those kinds of standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's quite extreme. So what?
Yeah.
So what?
Leadership was in it as well. Leadership. Yeah, management.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about leadership and management?
It was poor.
Okay. By who?
By the leaders. In fact, some of them have been sacked, I understand. Yeah.
Okay. So who
Yeah.
are these leaders?
Oh, boardroom level, executives. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you know what that is? That's a reminder to say that I'm at the interview. That sounds daft, doesn't it? Sorry. Boardroom, executives. I think some nursing sisters as well. In fact, a couple of them. They tried to get me instated back onto the register, and I don't agree with that at all.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on. So following on from the impact questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the 6 C's.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Okay. And
sorry.
It's okay. And what do you understand about the 6 C's?
Well, the 6 C's really are 6 C's that serve really as like innovations. Well, people say innovations, but I think it's quite, you know, poor if you've got to come up with 6 C's to remind people what it is they should have been doing in the first place. You see what I mean with that? But there are some people that might have forgotten how they should be behaving. So the 6 C's, so they're all over the place on notice boards. Care is one of them, so one of the C's is care. And the big one that I think the media's got the teeth into is compassion.
Okay.
You know, so care with compassion. So it's about people having these 6 C's in the mind, and whenever there's any kind of patient interaction, they're to think to themselves, am I doing this with the 6 C's in mind right now?
Okay.
Pretty good.
And do you know what these 6 C's are?
Well, I mentioned 2, haven't I? Care, compassion, communication, what we're doing now.
Okay.
Courage because I'm here. This is how I try to remember them. Commitment to a nursing career because I've come for an interview. And competence, which is what I'm showing now.
Okay.
So they have them on boards and things, and people have badges.
Badges?
And lanyards, I have them on lanyards as well, so people don't forget.
Okay.
Have the 6 E's on lanyards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next question. How would you deal with a situation at ward level where the standards are clearly very poor?
Oh, right, so like within the hospital.
Yeah.
I think it's really difficult. I've thought about this, and I've got a duty to, my patients. And this is one of the reasons actually why I don't like delegating, because I know that if I do it, it's done well. But sometimes you see other people and it's not right. What would I do with that? Well, I'd have to take it. I'd have to take it further. Now we had a lecture on this from David, and he was equipping us with what to do when we're in this situation. And I would absolutely follow due process. I would go to the ward manager with it. I wouldn't think about it. I wouldn't cause a scene, but I would absolutely do something about it. And if the person didn't like me because of that, then I've got my patient to think about. I would absolutely do something about it. Now, before I had the lecture, I probably would have gone to the press actually, because everybody else seems to be going to the press, but I wouldn't do that straight away.
Okay.
I'd take it to the ward manager first. Yeah, but I would do something about
So
it.
where would your priorities lie?
With my patient.
Okay. So give me an example. Have you got an example?
Well, I mean, if I took handover and my patient was in an absolute state, then I'd want the skin of the person really who was in charge of that patient's care in the morning. Have you seen that a lot?
So the skin.
Sorry, I would bring it to the attention of the manager.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, people say, oh, we're busy, we haven't got the time, but that's not satisfactory to me. So I would have to bring it to the attention of the ward manager. Or, things like drugs not being given, repeatedly not being given. I would have to do something about it.
So
but this is the difficult thing when you're new, isn't it?
What's that?
Actually, I don't like to say whistleblowing, but highlighting poor practice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's difficult when you're new.
Okay.
But with a preceptor and the support of you and everybody else in the surgical unit, then I think it will be possible.
So you mentioned there that you would you'd want to address and bring to the attention.
Yeah.
And you would want to find out who perhaps was responsible.
Yeah.
And you said that your priority was with
The patient.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So apart from finding out who's responsible and bringing it to the attention of the nurse in charge or shift, sleeping shift, what would you want to do? What would be your overriding priority?
Sort the patients out first. Okay. Yeah. So I wouldn't let. Oh no! I wouldn't leave them in that mess and then go into the sister's office. I'd make sure that the patient didn't see the look of shock and horror on my face. So I would attend to the patient's cares. And then I'd go into the office and have a word with the
cares? What
sort of like hygiene needs and make sure they were comfortable and making sure the skin integrity is integral. Intact.
Okay.
Intact, yeah. But once I knew that she was comfortable and happy, then I would then go to the ward manager. But I wouldn't like to see, how upset I would be if I was in that situation.
The patient?
Yes. Yeah.
So that's quite clearly very a stressful situation that you could find yourself in as a registered nurse.
Yeah.
So, as I'm sure you're aware, nursing is therefore quite a stressful profession. So how do you recognise stress in yourself, and how would you deal with situations that you find stressful? So how would you deal with stress that you're experiencing?
Well, I wouldn't really say that I'm the kind of person that gets stressed, really. I can see it in others, and I call them stress heads or stress muffins. I can see it when people sort of, not coping with things, but I don't know how to. I tend to be alright. I did alright through the training, and I have a bath with candles and things, and I suppose that reduces stress. But I don't really think that I get stress, to be honest with you. I mean, you know, I'm happy for others to say that I think you do.
Okay.
Nobody has, and I don't think I do.
So, okay then, just to explore this a little further.
Yeah.
Have, throughout your 3 years training, when you've
Mm.
been on placement,
Mm.
okay, for example, have you been involved in a really stressful situation, a cardiac arrest, for example?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a very stressful situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, did you do anything after that event to perhaps alleviate any stress, fear or anxiety?
Well, no, not really. I mean, we chatted about it on the ward, and the system made sure everybody was okay. But I mean, I felt all right about it. You know, I read up on it and made sure that everybody did everything they should have been doing when they should have been doing it. But I mean, I get upset sometimes, but that's not stress.
Okay.
You know, so sometimes I get upset, but that's, I wouldn't say that was stress. Just get upset sometimes.